So I just revived this dead YouTube channel in the past 90 days, and I'll show you exactly what I did, why I did it, and what the back end funneling really looks like. Because this is just the front end. This is the YouTube. This year they made 65 grand, but now we're doing about I think like 14, $15,000 a month, maybe a bit more than that. About 2 million views per month and gaining like 10,000 subscribers. So they were completely flatlined across everything, and now everything is jamming. We've gotten 90% of views in the past 60 days since I've started. So what did I actually do? I've changed very little. All I did was help them create better ideas. The person that I was working with, he was in a very unique situation where he was running a massive business in his niche. It was real estate. And he was trying to compete with real estate YouTubers, where I was saying, why don't you just leverage the position where you win, where you have 10,000 rental units, but you're talking about the same thing someone with 4 rental units has. So you need to think way bigger. This is going to have a much broader appeal. And then we just fix the packaging, the title, thumbnails to make them more interesting and more attention grabbing, and just the way that he starts the videos. So those were the main things that we fixed, and it instantly improves his numbers about 10 times, which is pretty amazing for a channel that was completely dead. And you think, oh, wow, he made $65,000 this year. He's making what, $10,000, $15,000 per month off YouTube. That sounds great. This is such a small percentage of the income that you were trying to grab. The real value is how do you funnel viewers into paying customers? But before we get into that, I'm going to show you the plan. What we've done to go from 300,000 views a month to 2 million views per month was very simple. We made each video more attention grabbing. We made the ideas better, and we fixed the hooks. Then we just fixed some very simple editing tactics. Then all we did at the end of the video is you're making each video more bingeable by pitching a specific video so they watch it. That shows YouTube that people are not just watching one video of yours, they're watching 2 or 3 or 4 videos, which is going to make your channel really grow and compound, which is a very great metric. That is all simple stuff, though. If we want to go from 2 million to 10 million views per month, what's going to need to be put into this is a lot more pre-production, which we are doing right now. We are planning out every single video that we're going to do a week in advance, where we're thinking what scenes need to be had, what shots, what information, what graphics, what editing, what is everything that's going to happen. So we have everything planned out before we actually record. Because one of the goals that I did when I was coming into this business that I said is you, the person who is running this channel, you are going to actually be working much less, and the results are going to 10x, which is exactly what we did. So we've 10x'd absolutely everything he's doing, with his workload actually going down. Right now, he's only coming in to the office on Monday, or at least this department. And so he's working less, but we need to plan out the videos with him. Before this, I would come up with the idea and I would just ask him questions, basically interviewing him, and then we would cut out me, which is it's useful because he has everything in his head. But if we want to take this to the next level, we need to actually plan everything out beforehand. And I'll have everything written out. We'll know the subjects, and that's how we'll really take this to the next level. And we're really not posting more. We're posting the exact same frequency. This is just the past month. There are 1.7 million views, almost $14,000, and that's great. 10,000 subscribers. That is fantastic. But what does those, let's say, 1.7 million views per month compared to the 300, 200,000 that they were getting actually correlate to the business? That is the very interesting statistic. I can't go into all of it because most people are going to know whose channel it is because I talk about him in every single video. But we have not pitched anything. We have not made a single sales pitch. We have not done any lead magnets. We have just given free value. And the list of accredited investors, I'm not going to say how many they had, but they have thousands. And they were not getting very many, but they were getting dozens per week, which is huge because each accredited investor, they are guaranteeing that they would put in $250,000 per deal. Doesn't mean they're going to invest, but if you're an accredited investor, that is the minimum that you can invest. And you are going through a complete checklist proving that you are this accredited investor. So a few dozen per week, guaranteeing that if they do invest, it's 250 grand per deal. That's a lot of money when you're getting a few dozen of these people per week. And if once we start to do lead magnets targeting that specific audience, you are really going to see some insane things with that regard. So that's the value of getting more views, and more that equals more customers and a hell of a lot more money when you're in that niche or in that space where you already have this massive infrastructure of a business. So I could, let's say, blow up some other person's YouTube channel or even mine. If I wanted to, I mean, I don't do any title thumbnails. I don't do any editing. I don't do anything that I do for anyone else, simply because I don't care about growth. 10 grand a month on a YouTube channel that was getting 1.7 million would be good, but that's not where I make my money. That this is not where I make my money at all. The way I make it is by helping people funnel to their business. And I like to work with people that already have a massive business infrastructure in place that don't necessarily know how to grow online. That's the best person to work with. It's much harder to grow a humongous business. That takes decades. I have grown a unique skill set where I can grow all of their social medias and then funnel to the product. So I can help with their advertising. And those people are very happy paying me extraordinarily amounts of money because of the value that I can provide them, and they don't fully understand it. And I'm getting infinite more demand for the work that I'm doing because I'm showing incredible results. And so if I had a fantastic business that I could sell, then it would be an opportunistic model for me to do this. But there's really nothing that I have to sell, nothing that I want to sell. I would never sell a course or anything. If I had a real physical, tangible product, then I would take this more seriously, but I don't. And I'm years away from ever having anything like that. So how do you actually come up with better ideas? Because that was one of the main things that we're doing is how do we take something that is quasi boring and make it very interesting to where a lot of people want to watch it? That is a difficult thing to do. So it is there's a lot of market research that can be done, and you are thinking about the keywords of whatever video that you are planning on making, and then you are doing a bunch of research as to what has worked well. And something that you can do is look at outliers on other channels. So let's say you're doing research on real estate, you look up whatever topic you were thinking about doing it on, and you can let's change the main 5 keywords that you could use in a title, and you look them all up on YouTube, and then you find videos that greatly outperformed on someone's channel. Let's say someone usually gets 50,000 views. This video around this subject got 500,000 views. So that's an outlier. You mark that, you figure out why it was an outlier. You do that for 10 different channels, and you can see, well, this was an outlier because of X, Y, and Z. Here's how we can not just replicate this, but make it our own and a much bigger idea. And this is how we can structure it. This is how we can plan it out. This is the content that's needed. This is the scenes, the shots, the graphics, the editing, everything that is needed. The team that we have in place is going to think about all of that the week beforehand. So the person who comes into the office to record knows the bare minimum what they need to, but so they can bang out 5 videos on Monday, not even have to think about it, and have all of this compound. So that is why they would rather pay me a ridiculous sum of money, because I'll do everything for them to where their life is easier and the results are much better than if they were doing it themselves. That's what most business owners want. And I really don't charge that much money. I just charge a percentage of what I can make someone else. Which is a very mutualistic thing. And then I'm learning, the main reason why I'm doing this is learning how to scale a business. Because if I could do this for 50 people or even 10 people right now and make them, 100 grand a month, which is a pretty average as to what I can help someone make in just a few months of doing this, even a few weeks, really. If I'm getting, 25% of that on 10 different people, that's a hell of a lot of money. But it takes a lot of infrastructure and employees in place to make sure this is always running and the results are continuously compounding, because the biggest mistake that I could make is having the results suffer for other people that I help. That is a terrible thing that can happen. Then your credibility gets lost. And the one thing that you really have is your brand and your credibility. That is what compounds the best. And the reason why I'm not so eerie to pick up any work that I can handle, like I know a lot of people do because they have to, because you don't really have an option, is they're not the ideal person that you can help. There's so many people that have these huge opportunities, but I don't think I could help them, that it just doesn't make sense for me to take their money. Because if I don't help them to the degree that I'm helping other people, that you're going to miss out on a lot of work and your goodwill reputation is really going to suffer.